we're going to get into our Jollywood Nights review. And so as a reminder about what Jollywood Nights is, do you want to tell everybody what it is, Jamie?
Well, Jollywood Nights is Hollywood glamour meets holiday cheer. It is celebrate this season in style, enjoy festive fun, sparkling decorations, and glamorous touches around Disney's Hollywood studios. It's basically a vintage Hollywood and Christmas mashup party.
Yes.
That's the best way to describe it. This is its second year. We did go last year. We'll talk a little bit about last year too as we go through and everything. Yeah, it's basically you can watch holiday shows. You can meet your favorite characters. You can enjoy sweet and savory holiday treats. You can pose for party photos, which are complimentary. You can peruse the event merchandise, watch nighttime spectacular, and even enjoy the park attractions. So it's more similar this year to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and what is offered and everything. So and we'll talk about that as we go as well. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's Christmas in Hollywood.
Yes. So like I said, we went last year. We went to the first party last year. Mm-hmm. Was not a good experience.
It was a disaster.
It was bad.
Yeah.
They seemed very unprepared. Just overall, I mean, we still had a good time for the people we were with, but the party itself was a big dud. And I think the feedback they got was even that, so they did make some changes to the party here. So we'll go through it. So basically, my comparison is just going to be to, we'll talk about compared to last year's party, and then even say, okay, compared to like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Right. Obviously we're going to do a full review on that on Monday, but how does this party rank in terms of like where that is there? So
yeah, I think once we talk about Mickey's Very Merry, we'll do a complete comparison between the two and see, what do you think? Anyway.
Yeah. So all right, well the event runs from 7:30 p.m. till 12:30 a.m. on 13 select dates in November and December, and you can enter as early as 6 p.m. with an event ticket.
The dates are November 9th, 13th, 16th, 18th, 23rd, 25th, and 30th, and December 2nd, 7th, 11th, 14th, 18th, and 21st. It's basically all of the Saturdays from November 9th through December 21st, and then most of the Wednesdays or Mondays. It depends. So it's basically whenever Mickey's Very Merry doesn't have a party. It kind of fills in the gaps there.
Yeah.
Only the first night sold out. So there are tickets left for the rest of the parties.
I think that's a lot of it's based on last year's people talking about it. So this one is, and the party we went to was definitely not close to being sold out.
Yeah.
I can say that much. So I definitely think last year's reputation is having an effect this year in terms of people willing to go to this party until maybe they hear about how it's been and how it's going and things like that, which makes sense. I mean, again, because the prices for this, $159 up to $179 per person. Not a cheap party to go to. So if you're getting all these negative reviews from last year, I don't think many people are looking to drop that money on something that is not good. So that does make sense.
Sure.
Now, one aspect about this party that you'll see many people do is like they'll dress up. So last year we dressed up. I did this. Jamie wanted me to dress up, so I did dress up a little bit. This year, I was like, I'm not dressing up. I'm not doing this. I wore a red hoodie that was my Christmas seat in jeans. Jamie dressed up a little bit.
I wore a green velvet skirt with my tinnies and
tinnies.
My tinnies.
I have never heard that term.
Okay. My white tinnies and a cream sweatshirt with a Mickey Santa on the front and my green sparkly mouse ears. It was definitely more casual, but I was so comfortable and I was so glad I went this direction because I was still dressing up like a little bit, but I was still festive. So it was perfect. It was perfect. I loved it. So, but you'll see a lot of people dressed up in like some are in suits, some are in like evening gowns, all the way to just t-shirts and shorts. Like it's a huge range. I would say about half of the guests dress up a little bit.
Yeah, the other reason I wasn't going to dress up is last year, a lot of people dressed up, and that created like the atmosphere for it. But here's my issue with that. I don't think it should be on the guests dressing a certain way to help you create the atmosphere you want for your party. So I'm like, you know what? Hoodie and jeans. Because first off, I don't like dressing up. And second, I was like, I want to be comfortable. So
No, and like that's why it's fun. It's like no matter what you wear, like you're still gonna have a good time. And especially versus last year, you're right. It was very much like, oh my gosh, everybody looks so good, but all of these lines and this and that.
We'll
and
we'll get into that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just I did wear a vintage worn in Bass Pro hat as well.
Oh,
if those are
good.
wondering.
But the temperature was good this night too.
The whole weekend, the temperatures were great. I mean, this is one reason why I like this time of year is in the evenings it was like in the 60s, so it wasn't hot, wasn't
so
rainy,
good.
wasn't really cold, so it was perfect temperature to
I was very comfortable.
do a party. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep in mind though, later parties closer to the end of December, like closer to Christmas, they'll be chilly. So plan accordingly. Don't wear like a strapless evening gown on December of 21st and expect to be just fine.
Don't tell people what to do.
You're going to be cold.
Maybe they want to wear it.
You're going to be cold.
Maybe they wear Under Armour underneath
Just
it.
saying.
Just saying. Okay, we'll talk about our night here.
Okay.
So we arrived at about 5:45, and already, I will just say, when we arrived, it was already better in terms of entering the party than last year's party. Because last year there were massive lines and some people set up to an hour and a half to get into the party, and we just walked right in. And they let us in. We weren't supposed to get in until 6, but they were letting people in a little early.
Yep.
So the entry process was already better.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. So when we enter, so last year you just entered straight into Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
This year it's kind of like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. You go to the right, and they had a photo with like the Jollywood Nights sign and what's their mascot? Ollie.
Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really trying to make Ollie a thing for this
Yeah.
event, which maybe it ended up being. But they had an area back there to take pictures, and
It's a neon marquee of the sign.
yeah. So you go through that way, and then you go into the park. So it's just a way to basically
Yeah.
very similar to how they do it at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. That's how that went. But
So yeah, you get your wristband, and then you also get your event guide, which was 12 pages long, and it was like pretty nice. Like it was like thicker, I would say thicker paper. Like it's a good souvenir, I think, to keep.
it wasn't tissue paper. So yeah.
It wasn't tissue paper, but it literally is everything you need to know. And if you didn't want to use the paper map that you get, you can just scan the QR code inside of it, and you can bring the guide up on your phone. So there's that option as well. We did get a picture in front of the marquee, but there was no photo pass then.
I think there was later.
At 7:30 when the party started, there was photo pass back there, but they did stop taking pictures back there at like 11:30 maybe. Because
I'm sure nobody was back there at that point.
Yeah. Well, our friend Lisa went try to go back at midnight, and there was nobody there. So just something to think about.
Yes. Now, last year you got a lanyard. They didn't do a lanyard this year, which didn't make any sense last year. It had a lanyard and a wristband.
Yeah.
Which did make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So this year they don't have the lanyard. It was just the wristband, which, whatever. Like it's
Fine.
I mean, I think some people like the lanyard, but they used to do that for after-hours events, too. They used to have a lanyard that you would get with it, and then it's like when they first introduce things, they'll do that, and then the next year they're like, never mind, we're not doing that. So,
Right.
but that's what they did there. So, well, we did think, you can't, obviously, if you get into the park earlier, you can then, when you're in the park already, you can get your wristband in the park. We didn't do that because we wanted to go in just as a regular party guest to see what that experience was like. So I would say right off the bat, it was a better experience.
Much better.
Right.
Much
Getting
better.
in there seemed like, and this is kind of a theme all night, way more cast members.
They were everywhere.
So last year it was very hectic. They seemed understaffed. The cast members didn't seem to know what was, and I don't put this on the cast members, I put it on the management. They didn't really seem to know what was going on. Everything was just like haphazardly done, kind of like looked like it just got set up, because I think it did, even hours before the party.
Yeah.
Much more organized, a lot more cast members. Everyone seemed much more, I guess, relaxed or jovial. It was better. So I think from that perspective, right off the bat, it was already better. It seemed much more organized. They, seemed like they had their proper communication about what to do and things like that.
And then if you were already in the park before 6, you get your wristband either next to Muppet Vision 3D or Star Wars Launch Bay. Those are the two options that you had in the park. And I actually saw on social media that people were getting the wristbands as early as like 4 o'clock. Like they were just going and like, yeah, here's your wristband. Because it's like, you can't do anything, until all the party stuff starts anyway.
Right.
So it's like, well, go ahead, it's fine.
Yeah.
But they could wait as early as 4 to get theirs. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it also lessens the amount of people going through those lines earlier anyway, so if they just
True.
get out. If you're already in the park, having that early doesn't do anything for you.
Right.
But all right, well, so when we got in, we took some pictures there, by the marquee sign, and then went straight to the Stage 1 company store in the Grand Park area because Jamie wanted to look at some merchandise.
Yeah, and this store is basically, it's been closed for a very long time. I don't even know the last time they used it, but it's in the middle of Grand Park. So it's like right across from Pizza Rizzo's and Muppet Vision 3D and Mama Melrose. It's like in the center. And so we got in line. There was like, I don't know, 7 minutes to wait to get into the store because the store is kind of small.
Something like that. It wasn't very long.
But yeah, there's limited merchandise more than last year. Last year they had a shirt. They had one shirt and it sold out very fast.
Yeah.
But this year they have Spirit jersey, they have a t-shirt, they have ornaments, pin, mouse ears, a lug bag, and then a pass holder t-shirt, which is what we got. I would like to have seen maybe like, I don't know, a sweatshirt or a lounge fly or something. I think they can maybe do some different merchandise. I did not like the Spirit jersey. It was like a maroon type of color. And I was like, I'm going to pass on that. But anyway, so there was plenty left when we went. So I don't think that anything is like selling out.
No. Well, and I think it's still this is a party people aren't really sure about. So it's like trying to find the right mix of not too much stuff, but not enough. So it makes sense on how they kind of did that, at least to me.
Right.
So then after this, we got into another line, which was for the robotic arm photo op. So they did this last year where it's like this robotic arm that allows you to do you can either do a slow-mo type of video clip or you do a longer extended one. The arm moves and it goes with music and stuff like that. Not my favorite thing to do because it involves like dancing and things.
But Jared did it.
I was a team player. I will say I'm pretty sure this is a third-party company that does this because the same girls that did it last year were running it this year. So I think they probably they outsource it to them.
Dude, they are hype women. They had the energy. They had the ideas of what you should do. I even complimented their little pin thing because they have a little, I don't even know what it's called. It's like almost like a Jollywood frame above their name tag.
Oh yeah.
And she was so excited to get it. But yeah, it was great. They were really fun.
The only thing about this is if you've never done this, you basically stand there, you tell them what you want to do. They have props you can use. Like I had a chicken that you could squeeze, but whatever. It doesn't, you don't hear it. You would just see it.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to dance and move and things like that. It would make much more sense to me to have music playing in this area because when you're just dancing to nothing in your head, it seems like really weired. So it's one of those things I don't care to look dumb in front of people because whatever, probably dumb in front of people all the time. But, you do have an audience there. So people that are kind of bashful, you are dancing a little bit. So it's a novelty thing. Like, it's okay. Like, ours was a little off-centered. I don't think she put it quite in the right spot.
Yeah, it kind of cut me off on the side a little bit.
Nobody cuts Jamie off.
Nobody cuts me off. But, yeah, we chose obviously the dancing one, which is, I don't know how long, 15 seconds?
Something like that, yeah.
You dance, and then we put our hands in the middle and then threw them up, and then the camera pans up, says Disney Jollywood Nights. So it's basically just like an active photo opportunity, I guess. It's just very active.
Kind of like a magic shot, but much more of you interact. You're doing more stuff there. But they had that going on, which is usually, there's probably about a 20-ish minute wait for it, if not longer.
Yeah, we waited about 20.
Because you got to think each people that go up there, they're taking probably
at least 5 minutes.
At least because they're talking to them what they want to do, how they want to do, everything like that. So
it's really cool. So if you get a chance, go behind the store, and it is back there. Also, Santa Duffy was back there in a huge line. We did not meet him.
No, we did. He had a long line there.
We were gonna do
that. Meet and greets are not my thing, generally speaking.
It's true.
But
it's true.
Yeah. And then after this, we were going to go get some food. We went over to Baseline about 6:50, but they weren't serving the party stuff until like 7:30.
Yeah.
So we decided to head over to Fairfax Fair. We got right in line at 7, and they did have their party. They were switching over the menu at that point to have the party stuff, so we got some things there. So what did we get over here, Jamie?
We got the holiday turkey popover, which is roasted turkey and creamy mashed potatoes topped with gravy and cranberry chutney and a house-made popover for $6.29. This is pretty good.
Tastes like a Thanksgiving dinner. It was solid.
Tastes like Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, it was kind of cool because it's like in a, I don't know, in a roll. Feels like a roll, you know?
It's almost like a bread bowl.
Kind of.
Like a smaller version of it.
Yeah, it was good. I like turkey and mashed potatoes together, so
I mean, it was mashed
No
potatoes,
complaints.
gravy, turkey, and bread. I mean,
That's
yeah,
great.
all the things that I enjoy about Thanksgiving dinner.
And then we also got the Kermit's Frozen Banana Shake, which is frozen banana and white chocolate with caramel swirls topped with matcha, whipped cream, and sprinkles. And that's $6.49.
There's always money in the banana stand.
There's always money in the banana stand. That's exactly what I thought of when I read the description.
This was pretty decent. I liked it. It was a decent size. It wasn't the biggest, but it wasn't terribly small, but very sweet. So this is one of those things we split because I was like, I don't want to drink all of it just because I'm not big on sugary things in general, but it was good.
Yeah. I mean, you could taste everything. Banana, the matcha, the white chocolate, it was all in there. So, yeah, it was good. The little chocolate piece on the top.
Little white chocolate piece, yeah.
Who was it? Was it Kermit?
It was Kermit.
It was Kermit. That makes sense.
It is his shake.
It's his shake.
It would be weird if it wasn't. If it was
Right.
Gonzo, it would be kind of confusing.
Yes, Jared. And then we got the mistletoe martini. Our friend Pam got this, and it's Tito's handmade vodka and Saint Germain elderflower liqueur mixed with cranberry juice and topped with fresh cranberries and mint leaves. And this was $9. It was pretty good.
It was okay. I'm not a big martini person. It was fine. It wasn't much in there, I will say.
I don't know. I don't think she liked it as much as she wanted to. But it was pretty small for $9.
I will say the drink prices they brought down pretty considerably from last year's party. So they were most of these were actually under $10.
Mm-hmm.
Some were a little over, but it was they did bring down some of the food prices in this and the drink prices too. So that was something that was nice. And it was busy over here, but the line moved pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
Last year, every line at everything you wanted to do was like 30 people deep, and it was really. And this is where I talk about like not having enough cast members because it seemed like everything was understaffed. This year, things moved much quicker, much more efficiently. So even if there was a line, you know, like I said, like you guys waited in line, which after this we'll talk about. We went to the Tip Top Club.
Yeah,
and it was busy back there. And when you got in line, I was like, oh geez, because I had a drink stand back there. But you got through there within like 15-ish minutes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. So things were much more efficient in how they were running, kind of all over the party.
And back to the Fairfax Fair real quick. I was just going to say that Hollywood Scoops next door does serve some of the food items from Fairfax Fair. Just a couple. I want to say the popover and the shake maybe was the two. I can't remember exactly, but I did look over and I was like, oh, so if you were wanting those items and you want to wait in the line for Fairfax Fair, Hollywood Scoops had like no line.
Yeah.
So that is an option as well. So Tip Top Club, Twilight Soiree.
Yeah, last year this was a really disappointing area because they made it seem like this sort of exclusive club you go hang out in and stuff like that. It wasn't really changed much from last year. Like it was,
what is it? What is this supposed to be?
Well, it's like you go back there and they've got a live band. They start at 7:30. They sing holiday jazzy songs. Perform every 40 minutes, I believe, and then there are a couple of dancers that come out and dance. I think Chip and Cookie.
Chip and Cookie were the names,
yeah.
But it's supposed to be kind of just like a holiday club right outside the exit to Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the vibe. The vibe is good. They did kind of, have a differentiation between the performance and the drinks. It's still kind of hard to move back there in that area.
It was still crowded back there.
It was still crowded, but
Jamie and the ladies went and got drinks. I sat down on a bench and just hung out for a little bit.
That's right. But yeah, we got our drinks. There are 2 drinks that come with a souvenir champagne flute. So we got both of those. The first one was a 1939 Royale, and that's Termana Blanco Tequila. Is it Cointreau?
Contrio, I believe.
Cointreau.
Something like that.
Cointreau orange liqueur, desert pear, agave nectar, and lime juice topped with Domaine Saint Michel Brut. And that was $11.50. And then also top floor daiquiri, which is Parrot Bay coconut rum, oob. Is it ube or oob?
I think it's ube.
Okay. Lime juice and a splash of shimmer. Again, $11.50. The top floor daiquiri is the one that I got. It was very sweet. So it was, of course, delicious to me.
I don't think it had much alcohol in it, but
Not
it was
much
sweet.
at all. The 1939 Royale had more alcohol, definitely. So if you're not into this much sweetness, I would get the Royale for sure. But we all drank them, and we had our souvenir flute, which is cool. Like Jared likes to, I think he pointed this out a couple times, maybe last year too, is that these are all pre-mixed drinks. So
Yes.
it's going to taste as such.
I'm not a fan of not everything. We'll talk about Baseline. They were not pre-mixed over there, but a lot of times, and I think that's the reason they lowered the prices on these, because last year it was like $15 for a pre-made drink, and the pre-made stuff's not going to have as much alcohol. I don't know. I can always taste when something is pre-made. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, the line moved better back here. It was still crowded because you also have people riding Tower of Terror coming out of there too.
True.
So you've got, it's a big mismatch back there. But it's still not as good as kind of what they portrayed it was going to be like when they first introduced it.
Right.
But it's better than last year. I definitely think that's something they could figure out, whether I think the aesthetic and the vibe makes sense for Hollywood Tower of Terror, but the location there, I think it's too tight.
It is pretty tight.
It almost needs to be somewhere else where they have more room and the same type of vibe. Maybe, set this up in Animation Courtyard and get rid of the mariachi band. Personally, I think that would give you more space back there and something like that. Yeah. But it's very, very tight back here. So if you are going to go back here, the lines are better, but you're going to be shoulder to shoulder with people that are, especially when they start playing music out there.
Well, we were, to be fair, we got there right when it started. When the party started at 7:30, we were there. So we got in line before they started even performing. Yeah. So it could have gotten worse later in the night. At least there was more room this year to people were actually dancing, and they're the dancers that were the cast members or from the band and everything were dancing too. So it was a little more interactive involved. But anyway, it's a cute area. Definitely could do a little bit more with it or change it a little bit, but it was better than last year for sure. For sure.
I mean, compared to last year, it's not going to be difficult to do better than last year, I will say. But yes, it was better. I still think, like I said, I think they could make some changes to it that would make it a better part of the party. But then after this, we went and saw Disney's Holidays in Hollywood. This was at 8:15 at the Theater of the Stars.
So for me, I first of all, I love this show. I think it's very much appropriate for this event, and it's a highlight for me. The show basically, so it features Kermit and Miss Piggy, and they kind of guide the show along. Plus, they have performances by Mickey and Minnie, Tiana, Belle, and the two hosts. And there's lots of holiday songs, dance numbers, etc. My favorite is the Mickey and Minnie one about decorating the tree and him coming over. It's so cute. I love it. It has been revamped a little bit from last year. So last year was a live holiday TV special they were filming, and they had commercial breaks in there. It was a little confusing.
There was also an underlying almost love story going on between the hosts.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
It was weird.
But they dropped all of that and featured more of the Muppets, and it flows much better. It's more dancing musical number, and then back to either the hosts or Kermit and Piggy. So it flowed much better this year. But I think it's a must do. I think it's a must do. For me,
it's a
for
good
Jared,
show.
If you know Jared,
it's not my cup of tea. So it's a fine show. It's just not something that, personally speaking, I don't do much of those. But it was a good show. Yeah. I should mention as well, there was Snope on Sunset Boulevard, and they were showing Sunset Season's greetings in intervals, so it wasn't a consistent thing. And I don't know if that was maybe they were wanting to keep down the amount of people on Sunset Boulevard, but it wasn't continual like it's been before. So I don't know if that changed throughout the night. But
we watched it a little bit. We got a little bit of it.
So, but they did have some Snope and things like there, but it wasn't a continuous show on that. But that was going on. We
were walking down Sunset Boulevard, wait, it's not on.
Yeah, it was. I was, unless maybe they're having issues that night with it. I don't know. But it wasn't. I don't know if they did the individual things either. I think it was just the initial projections and the intro thing. But I don't remember exactly. Yeah.
But that was the first show of Holidays in Hollywood that we saw was 8:15. That was the first show, and then Tip Top Club opened at 7:30, so we got there first. So we had already gotten so much done by like 8:45.
Yeah. Then after this, we went and got some PhotoPass pictures on Hollywood Boulevard, and then we made our way back over to Baseline Tap House as the menu, the holiday stuff was being served there. So in here, we went and got the macaroni and cheese croquettes, which is fried mac and cheese with aioli dipping sauce, and you got 2 of these for $5. These were delicious.
So good.
They were a little spicy, a little too spicy for you a little bit.
They were spicy for me at first. If you got something, to wash it down with and to even it out, it's fine. But it has like I think jalapeno peppers in the middle of it.
Also had some, I think there was some bacon in there as well. But
it was so good, you guys.
Yes, they were a good sized sphere-shaped food item.
Yes.
They were very good. And then I also got the beer margarita they had here. So it's a blend of Patron, silver tequila, Contrieu, however you say that, orange liqueur basically, and lime juice topped with Scrimshaw Pilsner for $17.50. Now, this was made by hand, I will say. It was a pretty strong drink. I like tequila, but it was very heavy on tequila. Overall, I didn't think it was that good. I don't think it was worth $17.
Okay.
It was okay. I just didn't think it was that good. I would honestly, after having that, I would have rather just had like a beer or something, or an old fashioned. So I think at $17.50, I personally speaking would probably pass on this.
Okay.
I don't think it was worth that price. Like I said, if it was around $10, $11, $12, I might have been like, oh, okay. But at that price, little steep there. But
I tried it and it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had the salted rim, but it didn't go like it normally would with a margarita. But if you like tequila, you would probably like this because you could taste the tequila quite a bit on this. So,
and the next little bit here was just a collection of PhotoPass and meet and greets. So the first one was we met Bert from Mary Poppins and the Penguin. We tried to meet Scrooge, but we failed at that because we got in line. The line was long, and he switches out with Clarice, which is the Chipmunks lady. And so we didn't get to do him again. And then so PhotoPass at Sci-Fi Dine-In, they have a little setup with a little car out there, and then they have some trees that were set up across the way over there. So we did that, and then we met Mickey and Minnie, which was really fun. They're in their Jollywood dress. They're usually during the day they're dressed as the theater, like the stars. Like he's the sorcerer Mickey, she's the movie star. They do change for the party. And then Jared had an interaction with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so Doctor Strange was roaming around Grand Avenue. Now, it wasn't technically a photo op, and they had a cast member following him around, and he was saying like, "There's no line. You just walk up and interact with him." I am very curious on the details of how they're able to do this because they tried to do a Doctor Strange meet and greet years ago at Hollywood Studios, and they got shut down really quick. I'm assuming for that Universal contract that they have with Marvel. So they must have found some sort of loophole, given it's a paid party and it's not technically a meet and greet. So he was the only character that was really like roaming around. So I went over there, and there wasn't a lot of people really trying to interact with him. But I walked up and I think I said something, but I won't take much of your time. I know you're the time master. And he's like, well, I used to be or whatever. So we were just like, I was just goofing around. And then he shows me he was showing me the ring thing and took some pictures and stuff. He was a good character. The costume was pretty legit, but it was, I mean, not odd. It's just, he's not a holiday character. He's Doctor Strange, but somehow he's able to do that. I don't think that's going to come to every day at the parks, if I were to guess, because I think it was some loophole that they were able to somehow put him in here, but he is roaming around this area, and he was like interacting with people. Like he was good. Like he's in character the whole time and things like that. So, looked the part.
Yeah, he
was pretty tall. I think he was actually taller than me.
Oh yeah, I think about the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was fun. But
yes, that was an unexpected one. I know. And like what's interesting, we'll talk about later, is Disney sent a survey out after the fact, and they list in there like, did you interact with Doctor Strange? So before they had said like meet the Sorcerer Supreme or something. So they're actually using the verbiage Doctor Strange.
Right.
So I find all of this very interesting in terms of how they're able to do this. But either way, but we also met Jiminy Cricket.
Right. We tried to go back to Scrooge and we failed again, by the way.
Yeah.
But we met Jiminy Cricket, and we were the last ones before they switched over to Pinocchio because they share a meet and greet space. But we met Jiminy Cricket, and that was great. And then I got a warm chai cocktail at Epic Eats. This is twinning chai tea, rum chata, cream liqueur, vanilla syrup, and cinnamon for $9. This was very delicious. This is perfect. Perfect for me, for Jamie.
It was sweet. Yeah.
It was sweet. I was so good. I would have that again.
I mean, I like it was basically like a cider. It was fine.
It wasn't a cider.
Well, it's kind of cidery.
Not really.
No. Okay.
It was chai. That's what you're tasting. You're tasting the chai, not any cider.
Maybe. Okay.
It was so good.
All right. Well, Jamie enjoyed it quite a bit.
I did.
So then after this, we checked out Glisten, which is a new show this year that takes place in front of the Chinese theater. And they do this intervals of every. You know how often they do this?
They do it about once an hour, and the show is about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So this is skating. You know, they're skating, and there's some sort of polymer they're using where they actually do have ice skates on here. Mm-hmm. So, but it wasn't cold in this area, so it's some sort of new material they're able to use there. Yeah. And it's like it's almost like Disney on Ice, which I had heard the rumors that Disney on Ice had basically like designed this into this show. So I think it was a lot of that stuff, but they had. Probably 8-10 people as part of this show that went in and out. Mm-hmm. It was odd show kind of because part of it, you had one girl that was actually singing, and then the rest of the people into the show were clearly lip syncing to songs.
It was like pre-recorded.
Yeah, so I mean that part was kind of weird. There was choreography. They used some lighting elements. It was
some props.
Yeah, like it was a cool show. It was an okay show. I feel like it was a little odd. It does need some tweaking. They did record an original soundtrack for this, so they did put some.
Something like "Everybody's Jolly at the Jollywood Nights."
Yeah, so they did put some effort into it. So I think it has potential, and it is something. I mean, it didn't have a ton of people watching it. It would have like a decent crowd around it. The dancers were very talented. They were really good dancers. They did a lot of like some above the head moves and things like that.
But they do have limited space, so they can't do a ton of like triple axles or anything like that. They don't have the room for it.
I do think it would be if they had more room, and I think just tweaking the show a little bit, it could be a really good show. Yeah. But it was entertaining for what it was. It was just the lip syncing, and some of it was kind of some of it was just unnecessary. Like you could have just had them skating without trying to act like they're lip syncing it, I suppose.
Yes, I agree.
But it was but again, it was a brand new thing that they offered that was unique, and they've never done that at a party before, so it's something you hadn't seen before. So
yeah, for sure. And it's easy to just walk up and watch it because that's what we did. It started immediately when we walked up. We're like, oh yeah, we'll just watch it here.
Yeah, because we were going to do it later, and then it's up above as well, so you can see it pretty easily.
It's where the Order of the First March used to be with the whole screen set up.
Yeah,
it's on that elevated platform now. It's just like a photo pass for opportunity during the day, but they cover it during the day, so nobody can go up there or anything. But so if you're sitting down, which there is an area where you can sit down in front of the stage, you won't be able to see their skates or their feet. So I was like, I definitely want to stand because I wouldn't be able to see all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a show that's like a pass-through show to check out what you're walking through. Like, I don't think it doesn't take much time either, but I think a lot of people are kind of watching and then like would just move on. So it's it's not a show like, I think if you were to sit down to watch this show in a theater, you might just be more like, oh, that was it. But I think given it's sort of a pass-through show that they just do in these intervals, it does serve as a way to, it's something else for people to do. It does eat up crowds a little bit. So, but
it's a good place for it too.
I think it has potential. Again, I think if they had a bigger space and they just kind of tweaked a little bit, like I feel like the show got better as it went along. So the tail end of the show where they did a lot more of the acrobatic stuff and the different things, the dance stuff, I think, or not the dance, but like the above head holds that you would see like in the Olympics. I think it was a much better show in the second half of it versus the first half. So yeah, I think tweaking it a little bit, getting a little more space, I think it could be a really good show. And something that's really unique. I mean, it's
definitely unique.
Never seen that in a party before. So, and then after this, what do we do next?
We went behind the theater and went to Pixar Disco and Pixar Place. We spent like 25 minutes here.
I will say this was actually kind of cool. So, I mean, it was a dance party. This party...
It's a dance party with a DJ.
Yeah. Now, one thing about Jollywood Nights is this is not, at least the night we went, not a lot of kids were here. So this is much more of an adult-oriented party. Mm-hmm. So back here, you just have a bunch of adults sort of dancing, which usually you see kids in these.
There were
things.
some kids.
There
okay?
were a few.
There were some kids.
As I said, not a lot, but they had Frozone was out there. They had Mike Wazowski,
Joy,
and then
the bell of the ball. Sadness
came out from
Sadness.
Inside Out, and it was actually really funny because they made her do like had like a little dance train, and like she just stayed
did
in
a
the
little
thing.
parade, and she dances with her fingers, just really small movements, and she's just not sure about what's going on.
Right.
You know, she's very, very, very obviously she doesn't talk, but like just very slow moving and everything. It's very cute.
Yeah. So I mean, it was for the little space it was in, and they also had it was really good for the little space they had, but they also had bubbles that had like smoke in them that they were shooting off, which was kind of cool.
I forgot about those.
And then they had, I mean, it was pretty
cute.
Our daughter would have really enjoyed it.
Oh gosh, she wouldn't want to leave.
Like
Edna Mode was there too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, Edna Mode was there. Yeah. So I don't know if they had any other characters. They have them rotate in and out. So I don't know if they had any extras other than them.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, but I think this is one where, again, if you are bringing kids, they would like this a lot.
For sure.
I think our daughter would have liked this one better than even the one that was at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably. She would love to have danced with Joy.
Probably.
For sure.
Yeah. Then we did that, and then we're getting toward the end of the night here, so we went over to Echo Lake, and there was a tree photo pass. We took a picture there. Mm-hmm. And then basically at this point, it was like 11:30. We were tired.
We had the party for Very Merry the next day. So we're like, I think.
Yeah, and we basically got everything, and we'll talk about things we didn't do, but we basically got everything done that we wanted to check out, and just really, and really honestly, even before the party started, we did more stuff before the party started this year than we did the whole party last year.
Yeah.
So already we were like, we got a lot more stuff done, and most of the things we wanted to hit, we didn't really. And we'll talk about the stuff we didn't do, but at this point we're like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and leave. So we
were happy with what we did.
Yeah. So when we left, you also got champagne flavored marshmallows as a parting gift, which these have gotten pretty panned. I did try them yesterday. They taste like champagne.
They do.
And I don't like champagne. So it's just, I don't think the marshmallows would be bad if it was like a different flavor, but I think it's marshmallows. Like when like last year you got a coaster. Like I think something better than just marshmallows.
I don't want food as a parting gift. I want something that's substantial that'll last.
Like an ornament or something.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
do ornament at Very Merry. Let's do something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't care for the marshmallow part there, but yeah, like I said, we left at 11:30 and made our way back to the hotel at that point.
We tried to stop by the animation courtyard for the like holiday fiesta thing they had going on, and we just missed it. And they weren't going to start another one for another like 15 or 20 minutes. So I was like, okay. So we tried to go over there. But
that is one element about this party I think they could do without is that one. Just something, like I said, maybe the Tip Top Club back there. Like there's a lot more space there.
There was nobody over there.
No,
it was very
dead over
empty.
there. So I don't think it's something that people are really, like last year they randomly had them set up not far from Baseline, I think.
An ABC commissary area.
Yeah, it was was just sort of the things where we were like, okay. Like it's just, it's, if you like that music, it's fine, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just that there was hardly anybody over there, and like we just missed it, so
yeah,
it's all right.
But yeah, so that was our night that we did, and then we'll get into what we didn't do, and then give our final thoughts on it. So the things we did not do, we didn't do attractions. So
didn't ride a single thing.
If you, I think one way to look at this party is if you did look at it more as an after hours event, you probably could get a lot. You could feel like you get a lot more out of it because Rise, Slinky Dog, like those had much less wait times than usual. So for us, we weren't looking to do attractions. We were just checking out the party itself. But if you did utilize rides, you could ride a lot of rides and get a lot of party stuff done. And get even more, bang for your buck in that way.
So Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Star Tours, Muppet Vision 3D, Rise of the Resistance, Smuggler's Run, Alien Soaring Saucers, Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower of Terror are all open during the party. So basically, the shows are not going on like during regular hours. So no Disney Junior Dance Party, no Indiana Jones show. The Frozen sing along is something else. No Vacation Shorts. The Beauty and the Beast show is not going on. So it's everything else basically.
Yeah, I mean Rise I think was around 30 minutes at one point.
At the max, I mean. That wasn't bad at all.
No, not for Rise.
No.
Not at all. Like Slinky Dog Dash was around the same, but more than likely it was probably less than 30 minutes. So if you did want to ride rides, you had much less wait there.
Well, Lisa, our friend Lisa, because we were with Lisa and Pam, our friends from Quill 32, and they were there with us, and she said she went to try to ride, or she had to ride Slinky at like midnight maybe, and it was a walk on.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it was like awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also didn't check out, like we mentioned, the What's This? Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas sing along. Neither one of us care about Nightmare Before Christmas. And we're just like, eh. But if you do like Nightmare Before Christmas, I have heard it's a good show.
Yes.
So if you like the music in there, but we just figured it's not our thing. And
it's not our thing.
We just skipped that one.
Yep.
We also didn't do the Jazzy Holidays at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Now, we did this last year. Mm-hmm. It was underwhelming what they did in here. I don't think it was that great. It was just very much like a normal day at a Brown Derby, basically.
I mean, they had the piano player in there playing like the festive holiday songs, had a little bit of holiday decor, has like a specific menu of like light bites and cocktails. But yeah, that's it. Basically, I mean, you have to spend a little bit of time in here. So if you want to take time away from the other party stuff, then okay, make dining reservations here and you can go, and that's fine. But we just weren't going to be doing that this year. We did it last year. We're like, okay, we're
the only reason we did it last year is literally because everything else had such long lines last year and the party was just not going well. We're like, let's just go in here.
Yeah.
So I'm not typically, when it comes to a party, like I wouldn't say spend most of your, at least personally speaking, we don't like spend most of our time eating.
Yeah.
So,
but last year when we did it, it was raining while we were in there. So we're like, well, might as well.
Yeah, last year's party was not solid on many fronts, weather being one of them as well. We also didn't check out Jingle Bell Jingle Jam Jingle Bell Jingle Bam. You put jam.
I'm sorry, Jingle Bell Jingle Bam.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I will read what is in front of me.
Sorry.
But I knew it was wrong as I was reading it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not do this. It's a mess show, my opinion.
We've seen it.
It used to be a nightly thing they would do during the holidays at Hollywood Studios.
It literally started in 2016 as a replacement kind of Osborne Family Lights.
What a terrible replacement.
But that ended in 2015. They needed something else Christmassy, so they did that, and they had like dessert parties around it and everything.
If that was their attempt at replacing Osborne Family Lights, straight to jail. Just straight to jail.
So it ran for a couple of years, and basically it's a holidays. It's based on the holiday special Prep and Landing from 2009, which I have never seen. But it has moments in it like Disney, like Beauty and the Beast, Brother Bear, Fantasia, Nightmare Before Christmas, Bambi, Pluto's Christmas Tree, and Mickey's Christmas Carol. It's a okay show. I don't think I personally don't think it belongs in an event like this.
It was an add-on they just threw in there to be able to say it's what it was.
Sure.
So.
I think it's more appropriate at Magic Kingdom. Like, it fits better there.
I think it fits more better in the trash can.
Oh, my God.
I just don't think it's that good of a show.
Okay.
I think they need to, if they really want to make it something unique, like have a special show just for Jollywood Nights. It was the same thing when they brought back, like, true. Which party was they brought back Enchantment for? At Magic
After
Kingdom?
Hours.
So they brought back the show in which they brought in that everyone hated to get replaced back with Happily Ever After, and like, go to this and we'll play you this show nobody liked.
Hey, they have it. Might as well use it, right? But I would rather see, something different for this, something more Hollywood glam vibe. I don't know what that is specifically, but I would like to see something like that.
It doesn't fit the show theme at all.
Yeah.
It's just clearly something they were just like, oh, we can recycle this and use it. So, I mean, it's something, but I don't think it's, in my opinion, I don't think it's worth going out of your way for. I mean, it does have lasers.
Lasers.
But why'd you say it so disrespectfully?
Sorry, I said it like lasers.
Supposed to say laser beams.
Laser beams
attached to their heads. So yeah, we did that, and then we also didn't do. There's a lot of character meetings that you could do. So the longest lines, these ones we did not do, were Santa Duffy, Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb had like an hour-long wait.
At least.
Scrooge McDuck, we tried. Santa Stitch, which we did get to see him at the Very Merry Christmas Party. And then Clarice.
She had a long line, too.
She did. And then the other ones we didn't do, Powerline Max, Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
What? That's how you say Pinocchio.
Oh, is it?
Chip and Dale as Rescue Rangers, Baloo or King Louie from Tailspin, The Mandalorian, Friends from Toy Story, Donald Duck and Daisy, Goofy and Pluto, Jose Canseco.
Canseco.
What? That's what I said. Jose Canseco. Or Panchito. What? Did I say it wrong?
Oh my!
He was there, and the Bash Brothers.
To be fair, like when we left at 11:30, we could have done more. We could have done the Night Before Christmas show if we wanted to. We could have done Jazzy Holidays. We could have seen Jingle Bell Jingle Bell. We just chose not to. So
Yeah.
it is possible to fit all that in.
For sure. And like I said, we did all the things we really wanted to do.
For real.
So, okay. So let's get into our thoughts here. What was your favorite part of the event?
Gosh, my favorite part. I really liked the robotic arm
It is
picture.
kind of a Kuka arm.
Oh, I like that picture. I think that was really fun. I liked Pixar Disco a whole bunch because I'm such a nerd. I love it.
You did enjoy yourself.
And the Holidays in Hollywood show. I love that too. And just dressing up and being with our friends. It was fun too. It was probably all of that. And all the food was good. We didn't have anything that was terrible.
So you're just gonna say everything.
Okay, so I need to pick one thing.
You don't have to.
Do you pick one thing? I can pick one thing.
You don't have to pick one
all
thing.
right.
No.
What about you? What did you like?
I mean, first off, I enjoyed it much more than last year. So I would say that. Probably the part I liked best was, Grand Avenue. I liked that area. I mean, you had the Doctor Strange stuff, the meet and greets, and you have Baseline over there. I thought the photo ops were cool. Again, meet and greets aren't my thing. Glisten was a weird show, but it was I liked it. It wasn't terrible. But I mean, all in all, the Muppet Show was fine. A lot of this stuff isn't my jam. You know what I mean? It's not something that I would go out of my way for on my own. But I really, honestly, my favorite part about it was it was a much better run party overall.
Just overall.
So I think
Okay.
it was a much better experience overall than compared to last year.
What was your least favorite?
I do not like that Kuka arm thing. That robotic arm. It's just not my thing. I know it's a fun thing to do. It's just that's not something. If it was me by myself, I would just be like, no, I have no interest in that. I'm trying to think.
You can just say that. That's
yeah.
fine.
I just say honestly, character meet and greets again, not my
your
thing.
thing.
I don't
I know.
really care much about those. So I would say those. If you're into character meet and greets, this would be a strength of this party. If you're not, they have a lot of these, and I think that's something where you might just be like, I don't know about that.
Well, my least favorite thing was the champagne flavored marshmallows at the end. Didn't like those.
Yeah, I would say those too. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I could take or leave the Glisten show. It was okay.
It was okay. I actually one of my least favorite things is still the Tip Top Club back there because it's so underwhelming in terms of what the potential that it has.
I think I like it more than you do. I think you're super critical of it. I don't think it's that bad.
I just don't think it was what they kind of described it was going to be. It just more.
Honestly, I think we read a lot into what we thought it was going to be.
I think
because their description of it.
I think they hyped it up a lot.
I don't know.
Well, and I think that goes into. Okay, overall thoughts on the party. Like I said, I think it was much better ran this year.
Much better.
I think it was a vast improvement on that front in terms of staffing and how the party was ran and the overall vibe. People seem to be having a much better time. Now, it wasn't a sold out party, so I think that goes into a lot of this. I would be curious as to how this would go with a sold out party. So it was very not a lot of people in here, which I think I liked about it the most as well was it's much more compared especially to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, a much more chill party.
Oh, definitely more chill.
It didn't feel really super rushed. You kind of just walk around at your leisure, get some things done here. And again, it wasn't really slammed, so lines weren't bad.
Plus, you had an extra hour this year because it was only 4 hours last year. Now it's 5 hours, so you had more time. Yeah, which is a good thing. Something that I would like to see, if we're talking about in the near next couple of years, or we would see that's different. I would like to see them provide some food that's included in the party, like they do at Very Merry and Not So Scary. Not So Scary, you got the candy. Very Merry, you've got the cookies and the drinks. Let's include something that's in the price of your ticket for food wise.
I completely agree.
That's one thing that I'm I think that would be a good idea to try.
Well, the price point it's at, when it comes down to recommending this or not, that's where it gets into Disney sent surveys the next day, and one of the questions they directly asked, they were very curious. I think they're definitely still trying to feel this out in terms of how people respond to it. Was, do you think there should have been food and beverages included? And I was yeah, it should be, in my opinion, an after hours event where you get the soda, popcorn, and ice cream stuff included.
You think all of that?
I think if they did that, I think it would be much more justified in its price. So I think they did make a pretty big improvement. But those things, I think, improving the Glisten show, moving the Tip Top Club somewhere where there's more space and really making it more of like an actual club feel than just like, again, you're at the exit of a ride and you're jam packed back there. Just, one of those things. So, I mean, it was fun. I had more fun this year than last year. So, in terms of like, would we return? Would we recommend it?
I would go back in a heartbeat.
Well, it's not that like, I think it comes to the price point of like, is it worth it at around $170 some odd dollars? For me personally, at that price point, I think they need to add a few more things to really justify that price.
Okay.
I think like I said, the included beverages and things like that. I think that, maybe a couple more things you can check out and do. You do have the rides. If you treat this like an after hours event mixed with a Christmas party, I think you would probably get way more value out of this.
Yeah.
But I think when most people hear party, they're not thinking rides necessarily.
There's some people who do.
It depends. But so it was much improved. I will give them credit.
Improved.
They listened to feedback. It's much improved. I still think it needs some tweaks and some changes to it. So I would say, yeah, it's much more enjoyable. If you're looking for like a leisure, like more laid back holiday party, Christmas party, I think this is a party that you could enjoy. So if you like character meet and greets, if that's, you're looking for more a relaxed experience, I think you would enjoy this party.
Yep, I agree.
So would I do it again? Yeah, I would. It's not that I would not go and not have a good time. I just think it comes down to that price point. So I think like say next year, obviously, I mean, we talked about it for the show, but if they added some more things to it, I would be much more tempted to be like, okay, yeah, let's check it out again and see what they change about it. So
that's fair.